Hello, my name is Dakota Kaiser, and this is a tutorial on the calculations in the economics section of the EarthCycle white paper. Let's dive into it. These estimations were made considering that we sell only 43 million coins, which will give us $30 million equivalent to acquire these facilities. If we sell twice as many coins, we'll have twice as many facilities, and the subsequent calculations will be doubled. If we sell half as many coins, we will have half the size of facilities, and our subsequent calculations will be halved. So we're looking at, with 30 million in, getting between 15 and 20 million back during the second year. During the third year, looking at between 20 and 25 million. And at the 10th year, we're looking at an estimated minimum of $350 to $400 million back from our branches. Let's look at how we came to these calculations. So these calculations, again, were made considering 30 million. And in year one, that will allow us to build these 4 facilities. So we calculated the output of these new branches based on being able to sell our products or services for around 10 to 20% of retail value while the businesses are new. Now, as time goes on and we develop more and better relationships with local distributors and international distributors, our prices will increase, and so will our returns. Likewise, for businesses like Chrysalis, we're considering about a 20% room fill rate during the first year, and then around the 5th year, we're looking at somewhere around an 80% fill rate. So a lot of these businesses keep increasing in value. Also, some of these businesses have a mechanism to add more funds back into themselves to expand as well, but they're all also designed to eventually have a capping point. So in the first year, we put 30 million out, and we're looking at almost 11 million back in. We take about 2.2 million of that, and we buy our EarthCycle coin off the market, and we burn it. We invest the remainder into 2 additional facilities. Now in the second year, we get our returns back from the first facilities and from the facilities we funded at the start of the year. Now we're looking at 16.8 million back during year 2. Again, we reinvest that and put some of that into burning the EarthCycle coin. Third year, we get the returns back from the first year of facilities, the second year of facilities, and the third year for a whopping 23.4 million. And it keeps compounding like that. High return, compounding interest for 35 million on the next year. And on this year, we see a really nice jump to 71 million as our original facilities start reaching their maximum profit potential. From year 71 to 122, we're looking at gains between years 5 and 6, which is another really, really nice jump. So the jump there is about 1.72 times. Following that trend, on year 7, we're looking at 210 million back, then 361 million, 620 million, 1 billion for year 10. And then if you add up all of the returns from all of the years of these calculations, we're looking at a total of 2.5 billion back in the first 10 years, with $507 million worth going to buy and burn the EC coin. Now, while all of our businesses have been in profitable operation for between 2 and 25 years, producing more than our estimated income, we can't account for everything. We're assuming there will be various failures and reductions in our businesses, especially in their founding years. So instead of estimating that full amount there, we slimmed it down. And for the rest of our equations, we're looking at Instead of 1 billion, we're looking at between 350 and 400 million. And instead of 500 million going to buy the coin, we're looking at 250 million going to buy the coin. Again, as the time goes on with the compounding interest rating, it starts to get ridiculous until our original 30 million investment is now in the billions. Again, assuming we're going to experience large losses with these businesses, we slim that down a lot. And instead of assuming we're going to be getting upwards of 100 billion per year, we're just going to figure we're going to get a nice 2.5 billion in during the 20th year of operation, which will mean that we're going to have at least $3 billion going to purchase and burn the EarthCycle coin. And we estimate that this market influence in combination with other market factors will increase the price of EC coin to a bare minimum of 200 per coin. So the money going to buy and burn the coin is only one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is what coins are being sold and at what time in our growth cycle are they being sold. So we made some estimations here. We're assuming that about 40% of all the coins purchased during the ICO during the 10th year are still held, which means 60% of them are sold. By year 20, we're assuming about 80% of all those coins have been sold by the people who originally bought them. We're also assuming 10% of all coins are going to be locked into Earth Power by year 10 for voting privileges, and 20% of all coins are going to be locked into Earth Power by year 20. We're assuming 80% of all coins distributed to nonprofits will still be held by nonprofits during year 10, and 50% of them will be held by year 20. We have agreements with our board members of our nonprofits for them to vote to keep at least this many coins during these parts of our growth cycles to ensure there isn't a large dump of our currency from the nonprofits during any specific time. So we're also assuming that about 70% of all the coins sold by original purchasers and EarthCycle nonprofits are going to be bought by private individuals and groups other than our nonprofits that are buying the coin to burn it. And these people will buy the coin because they see that our coin has an exponential growth rate and they want to buy it so they can sell it later. We're also assuming that all of the coins distributed to nonprofits will not be purchased by our nonprofits to be burnt. And we have a system in place to make sure that our nonprofits aren't buying coins from our other nonprofits to burn them. So, running with all of those conditions, by year 10, about 7.74 million coins will be bought and removed from circulation by EarthCycle nonprofits. Here's how we got to that. So 64.5 million coins in circulation, with 43 million held by coin purchasers and 21.5 million held by nonprofits. 60% of coins held by original purchasers sold equals 25.8 million. If 30% of those coins are purchased by EC nonprofits to be burnt, that equals 7,740,000 coins. Now, if we're taking $250 million of our revenue from our estimations above, year 10, way over here, that's going to mean that we're going to buy those coins. If we bought them all at the same price, they would be 32.2 each. Now, the way it's actually going to work is we're going to buy some of them at around $2 each, some of them around $3 each, $4 each, $5 each, etc., which means it's far more likely that the coins will be worth $50 or $60 each. And this calculation does not take into consideration the increase in price created by customer demand from customers that want to get a 10% discount on our businesses. It is also not taking into consideration that coins will be permanently locked into Earth Power for the purpose of gaining voting privileges on the EarthCycle voting platform. So in all likelihood, I believe we're going to see much higher than 32, probably more around in the hundreds range during year 10. So we apply that same math again with our previous calculations, and it comes out to, if we bought all the coins sold for the amount that we're estimating, a relatively very conservative estimate, we're looking at $1,086 price per coin. Now, if less people are selling their coin and more people are holding on to it, if a higher percentage of speculative investors are purchasing the coin before the nonprofits can get to them, if a higher amount of people are locking up their coins for voting privileges, we're looking at far, far more than $1,000 per coin. If, on the other hand, people are selling it and for some reason there's not many investors repurchasing it, we may be looking at more in the hundreds per coin. And that is how we came to the conclusion of our estimations of at least $30 per coin by year 10 and at least $200 per coin by year 20. Now, as you can see here from the returns from our businesses and the increase in growth of the coin, there's an exponential growth rate happening here, even on the very low end. So by year 30, we're looking at least 1,000 per coin and possibly tens of thousands. By year 40, there is another exponential increase in value. And that is the math behind our EarthCycle coin and its exponential growth rate.